Welcome back. I'm so glad that you're here. Today I want to talk to you about fear. Fear is an innate human response, but in this day and age, it's almost a very limiting feeling. Let's dive into that. So, fear, right? When we think about where we were so many years ago, I was going to say 100, but even 100, we were pretty civilized. When we think about where we were like pre-civilization, fear was a helpful tool in our survival because it kept us safe and gave us the appropriate responses needed to encounter a bear or a mountain lion or whatever it was, right? So fear was a really good thing in terms of survival. But fast forward to now, though we can still encounter a bear or a mountain lion, it's not likely to happen in our day-to-day occurrence. If you're out there hiking, maybe yeah, or if you maybe live in a spot where they're at, sure, but on the day-to-day occurrence, there isn't this innate need for like primal survival. It's essentially pretty safe in this day and age. And so when we think about fear and the feeling of fear, it's generally around a couple of aspects in our life. We have a fear of failure. In turn, two sides to the same coin, we have a fear of success, and then we have a fear of what other people might think of us. Those are essentially the three biggest fears that people feel on the day-to-day basis. Let's talk about the first one, fear of failure. Fear of failure. What is failure? Failure in this society is perceived as you try something, it doesn't go according to plan, and that is your failure. But in reality, when you try something, it more than likely is not going to go according to plan. We have a joke in our family that the first time we do anything, it's going to be horrible. The first time we went camping, it was horrible. And the reason why is because you don't know what you don't know. You have to get out there and try new things. And then when you're there and you're thinking about all the different things you're going to bring next time, you're going to do next time to prepare, then you're able to make a list and try again. But if we would have gone camping and been like, this is horrible, this is a failure, we're never doing it again, well, that would have just been silly, right? But we go into these career choices or we go into these new adventures or launch into a business and it doesn't go the way that we pictured it going in the very first couple of days. And so we chalk it up to a failure and we never try it again. But that's not helpful to where we actually want to go towards building a life that we love. So let's talk about the other one, fear of success. Fear of success is almost more paralyzing than fear of failure because the fear of success brings on a whole new level that you can't even imagine right now. So let's think about it, right? Let's say that you are wanting to write a book, okay? So you're there, you're writing the book, you're not too concerned about if the book fails or whatever, if no one reads it, but what happens when it's a New York bestseller? What's your life gonna look like when you're on book tours or you're on some crazy just like promotional event and there are things going on and there are people going? That means you need to level up. You are where you are right now with the life that you have. But when you're living that life, you will have leveled up to get there. And that version of you and that version of your life is really scary. And then we start to think about the fear of what other people think about us. And the fear of what other people think about us comes in both with the fear of failure and the fear of success. Because if we do something and it's not perfect in the first couple of days that we're doing it or the first try, then we're like, oh man, people are going to think I'm a fraud. People are going to think I'm ridiculous. People are going to have all their criticisms, blah, 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 whatever. But in the same, right, two sides to the same coin, what are people going to think about us when we have written this book and we're now a New York bestseller? People are going to be like, oh, she thinks she's so cool, huh? There is always going to be opinions, whether you have failed, quote, I'm using air quotes there, or you have succeeded. And so I want to really have you dive into your fear. And if you go back to the episode where it's getting unstuck, right? It's that fear, that procrastination, and the avoidance. And generally, you know what you need to do to get unstuck, but in comes the fear. Now you focus on, what are you scared of? Because chances are, if you go to write a book, you're not going to get eaten by a bear. So what is the fear really around? Because if you write a book and no one reads it, I mean, that's okay because you wrote the book for you because you wanted to. But I guarantee you, if you write a book, someone's going to read it. Let's think about the fear of success, though. If you write a book and everyone reads it, and maybe Sally Sue down the street is like, oh, who does she think she is? She's all full of herself. But you've impacted hundreds of thousands of other people with your book, then who cares what Sally Sue is thinking? Because you have done more for this planet than you could have even imagined just through simply doing the dream that was on your heart. Sally Sue doesn't have to get it. So I want to really encourage you to dive in to what it is that you're scared of. For me, I spent years thinking that I was scared of failure, that it was failure that was the problem. But what I've learned is that failure is a good thing because it means you tried and it means you have learned something. If you try a new business and you fail, that's great. That's awesome. What did you learn? And what can you do differently next time? When I go back to our camping example, right? We went camping. I had never been camping before in my life. I don't even remember if Cody had been camping before in his life, and it was horrible. We were freezing. There was not enough of anything that we needed. There was not enough sunscreen. There was not enough water. There was not enough blankets. It was honestly horrible. What did we learn? We learned that we needed more blankets. We needed more water. We needed more sunscreen. An extra table would be cool. Some more chairs would be awesome. A bug lamp would have been really helpful. And so we were able to then try and adjust. And then the next time we went camping, it was a couple days longer and it was pretty cool. But guess what? There was still things that we thought would be much better next time. And then next time we go camping, we'll have a whole new list because we've never been camping in Texas before. We've only been camping in Colorado. So our list for camping in Colorado might still somewhat be relevant, but it's going to change and it's going to need to adjust. So again, if we go camping in this new environment, in this new space, and it's horrible, we could decide to never go camping again. But that would be silly when we could just take what we've learned and adjust. That goes to the same thing in every aspect of your life. Whether that's trying to homeschool, trying a new homeschool curriculum, trying a new method of parenting with your kiddos, reaching out for a new job or a promotion, starting an online business, launching a podcast, whatever it is in your life, you're gonna try something. And I'm just gonna tell you right now, it's not gonna go well the first time. You might be better than you thought, but you might not. And either way, that's okay, because then you're able to learn and you're able to adjust. But if you're actually worried about the fear of success, which after thinking I was scared of failure, it actually turned out that I was scared of success because then what? Then I'm successful. Then what happens? Then what are people going to think? Then what's my life going to look like? How am I going to be able to balance all of that? I'm very comfortable, and I spent a lot of years very comfortable in the struggle because I wasn't happy, but I knew what to expect. There was that level of comfort. So when you're almost expecting to try and fail and then you succeed, then, oh my gosh, you are in a space of so much discomfort. You need to level up. You don't know what to do with your hands, and it's a mess, but it's exciting. But it's also a very valid thing to be scared of because you don't know. And when you don't know what you don't know, then you're going to feel uncomfortable and you're just going to have that fear response because, again, it's a primal survival response to getting uncomfortable. So all of that to say, dive into what it is that you're really scared of. With whatever action you need to take to get unstuck, you're going to feel fear, but what is it that you're scared of? Are you worried about what your mom might think of you if you try that new business? Are you worried about what your spouse might think if you just go and start a YouTube channel or a podcast or write a book? Or are you worried that it might go well and you might actually get a lot of traction, and that means a lot of new people coming in and looking at you and possibly critiquing you and then having their own opinions? Or are you scared that it's going to flop and you don't even know what to do when the thing that you tried flops. Because honestly, that can feel really, really discouraging. But I want to let you know that no matter what it is that you're scared of, I'm going to be here for you. And send me a message. I would love to walk you through next steps, how you're feeling, where to go from here, or even how to take the plunge into that brand new thing that you're just not quite sure that you can do. If there is a fear anywhere in you around whatever next step you need to take, that means that is a step in the right direction. That means taking that step is going to be moving your life forward. So I would absolutely love if you would tag me on IG at Calling Women Higher and let me know what it is in your life that's making you feel fear and how I can support you in moving into that new space, taking that step in a new direction, because I am here for you every step of the way. And I am so grateful that you're here. I will see you next time.